Does anyone remember a time when almost every upcoming movie wasn't a sequel, prequel, reboot, or remake? It feels like a lifetime ago, not less than 2 decades. During this current state of entertainment, I'm increasingly grateful for the filmmakers who work on smaller, original projects and are able to bring stories to life with a modest budget. Fall was released in 2022, and it is proof that the saying, less is more, still holds true. Friends Becky and Hunter climb a decommissioned 2,000-foot radio tower in the aftermath of the death of Becky's husband, but they become stranded on the tower and must find a way to the ground or alert someone to their predicament. Becky and Hunter have distinct personalities and come across as real individuals. Hunter is more willing to take risks without thought for the consequences, and Becky is more cautious and grounded. The two girls balance each other out, but they also encourage the potential the other fails to see in herself. The beginning of the film does a good job of establishing their personalities and relationship, but until they encounter trouble on the tower, I admit I was getting annoyed with them. Despite Becky having recently lost her husband, the early interactions and dialogue reminded me of two girls living in a liberal elite bubble where nothing exists but themselves. Thankfully, the tower knocks them into reality, and I was cheering them on for the rest of the movie. The cinematography and editing are the stars on the technical side. The carefully composed shots are vertigo-inducing and make you feel like you are stuck on the tower with Hunter and Becky. The visuals never let you forget the massive scale of the landscape, and the beautiful silhouette shots highlight just how small Becky and Hunter are compared to the challenge they face. There were a few shots I could tell were CGI, but nothing that was so obvious it pulled me out of the film. The editing builds the tension extremely well. I knew the girls were going to get stuck on the tower, but I was on the edge of my seat waiting for it to happen for the entirety of their climb. Becky suffers from nightmares a few times in the film, and the well-placed glimpses not only give you a window into her psyche, but also provide foreshadowing and introduce some horror elements that serve the story surprisingly well. I don't think the message the filmmakers were trying to convey was fathers are awesome, but Becky's father is amazing in this movie. He gets very little screen time, but you know he is always there for his daughter, no matter what, even when she thinks she doesn't need him. So shout out to fathers. Thank you for all you do. Becky and Hunter definitely deserve credit for their creativity, ingenuity, and bravery in their endeavor to get off the tower alive, but some of the scenarios stretch the limit of believability, and others require you to keep a firm hold on your suspension of disbelief. The acting and writing hit a few bumps, especially in the beginning, and Hunter mentions that two men she sees through binoculars think they're gay. This next point is difficult to discuss without spoilers, but I'll do my best. A secret comes to light while the girls are trying to get down from the tower, and when this secret is combined with the quote at the end of the movie and the ending itself, it results in mixed messaging. If a character had made a different choice, it would have changed the nature of the secret, but it would still explain this character's actions after the death of the husband, and it would make this character's arc more tragic instead of kind of fitting. The filmmakers choosing to have this subplot occur as it does reinforces my criticism of the girls' earlier dialogue and interactions, and indicates a lack of maturity in the characters and the filmmakers. Fall isn't a movie I would consider great, but it is a good film that succeeds without all the unnecessary bells and whistles. It's a suspenseful thriller that will keep you guessing, and despite the technical aspects outshining the writing, I groaned each time Becky and Hunter's plans failed, and I cheered them on throughout their trial. Hey guys, thanks for checking out my channel. My debut fantasy novel, Echoes of Remnant Light, is now available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook. It's about a skyship captain who has to save her crew from an assassin's plot, and a young warrior who has sworn vengeance against the ruling magic users, even though she is pledged to protect them. It's similar in tone to The Wheel of Time in James Islington's books, so if you like either of those, I think you'll like Echoes of Remnant Light. It's a hopeful fantasy with action, some political intrigue, and magic that has become a valuable, limited resource. There's a link in the description, and if you enjoy my book, don't forget to leave a review. Thanks again for visiting my channel.